I mean, it was cool, but I mean, like when you talk about the greatness of Aftermath,
Yeah.
Eminem and Kendrick Lamar are both in the argument for the greatest, and like depending on who you talk to, and then 50 Cent arguably had the greatest impact on his arrival in the history of hip hop music.
And they have them at 6. You think they should be higher?
Yeah, I think so. I would think I would.
Yeah,
have
I would put Aftermath and
So
Loud.
you'd have
top
them.
five.
You'd have them over Roc-A-Fella.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
So you're moving down Bad Boy. You think Bad Boy's still top 5?
The third verse. The third verse.
Hip hop record labels of all time. Raucous Records, number 25. Black Star, Pharoah Monch, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Reflection Eternal, Company Flow. Hypnotized Minds at number 24. 3-6 Mafia, Project Pack, Gangsta Boo, Lord Infamous, LeChat. 23, Strange Music. Biggest stars, Tech Nine, Mayday, Chris Calico. I'm glad they put Mayday in there. Mayday is underrated. 22, Collective Music Group, CMG. That's Yo Gotti, Glorilla, Moneybagg Yo, ESTG, Black Youngster. 21, Quality Control Music. Biggest stars, Migos, Lil Baby, Lil Yachty, City Girls. 20, Maybach Music Group. Rick Ross, Meek Mill, Wale, Gunplay, Omarion. 19, Shady Records. I'm going to speed this up. I feel like this is going a little slow. You guys think it's going slow?
Yeah, just
I feel like it's going a little
say the
slow.
names.
Shady Records, 19. 18, So Def. 17, Stonesville Records. 16, Ruthless Records. 15, Rough Riders Entertainment. 14, Murder Inc. 13, Tommy Boy Records. 12, Rap-A-Lot Records. 11, G Unit. 10, No Limit Records. Number 9, TDE. Number 8, Loud Records. Number 7, Good Music. Number 6, Aftermath. Number 5, Roc-A-Fella. Number 4, Billboard got these ads popping when you get down here to the bottom of the list.
Bad Boy.
Bad Boy Records, number 4. Number 3, Cash Money Records. Number 2, Death Row Records. And number 1, Def Jam. All right, what's your reactions?
I think it's a pretty good list. I mean, like I think like obviously Def Jam is the pillar and like what it has turned into. I think Death Row. I like where Death Row is because I think Death Row and what they did with Dr. Dre and Snoop and breaking down top 40 radio with like gangsta rap music and that becoming pop music and what that was. But that moment,
Yeah.
I mean, Tupac wasn't later, but Tupac joined Death Row later. But just that moment, just nothing but a G thing, like being on like Kiss FM in New York or whatever, Z100 in New York was like. I was 14 years old, but like it was like such a shift and like what that did. So I feel like that there were certain things there, like it depends. Like I think in the list there's some things were just very successful and that's why they're there, and other things were so culturally impactful that like I would probably have the culturally impactful ones like that felt like movements that changed things a little higher. Like I feel like G Unit and what 50 did was a movement that like what he did for his artists and how he was able to drive them all and how he put them first was very interesting. I think Rough Riders and what that movement was in New York and like was such a thing, like that, like it was like a moment in time. And then you have things like TDE, which right now is insane, but it's like, and it's so across the gamut how everything is so successful and like kind of has value at a time when almost all music has no value. Is like when so many artists are just like trends and things and then they all have these artists that keep selling tickets and building and like they're actually building a business at this time, which is against whatever happening everywhere else. Like, but there's a lot of, I mean, really great. What the list is makes you think about. There were a lot of really great companies that did a lot of really great things. Loud and Steve Rifkin and what they were able to do and like maintain like with Wu and Mobb Deep and all those things. Like I mean, like there were a lot of great companies and but what was top 5? I like Death Row.
Number 1, Def Jam.
Def
2,
Jam, Death Row.
Excuse me, Cash Money, number 3.
Cash Money was mad, and then Bad Boy. I probably would have Bad Boy 3, Cash Money 4, personally, and then what? Roc-A-Fella was 5.
Roc-A-Fella 5.
Yeah.
Roc-A-Fella should not be in front
Yeah.
of Loud.
What?
Roc-A-Fella should not be in front of Loud.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, I would probably.
Jay-Z's the only Jay-Z, Memphis Bleak, Beanie Siegel. These are all great. I love.
Well,
these.
Kanye West.
Kanye West.
I mean,
but still,
but count Kanye West. I mean, that's what puts it there, I think.
yeah, but then you got good music at 7. Like well, that shouldn't be there.
What?
Then they got good music at 7. So is Kanye good music or is Roc-A-Fella?
Yeah, this is what we're talking about, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of both, right?
Yeah.
He was signed to Roc-A-Fella, and then he started good music.
But Loud had Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, Big Pun, 3-6 Mafia,
I mean-
David Banner, Akon.
Yeah, no. Loud music should be in the top 5.
Loud should be.
I mean, but then we're also talking about like
To me.
Aftermath should probably be higher too. But I mean, like, because Death Row, Dre, like with that, I mean, because you're really talking about Eminem, 50 Cent, like
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
the two
Death
biggest,
Row, yeah.
like literally
And
those
then
two
Kendrick
guys,
Lamar.
and then Kendrick Lamar, like those 3 guys probably outsell like most of these whole
Yeah.
rosters you're talking about
Yeah,
times 5. So like it's like like Aftermath just from those 3. I mean, I think when you think of Dre, you think of him in both worlds, but like if you really think about the fact that Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent, and Eminem were all on the same label.
Well,
is
then so
absolutely
Cash
insane.
Money is where it should be in the top 5.
Yeah. Oh, well, for
They
sure.
put Busta Rhymes here for Aftermath, too.
What?
Oh yeah, Busta Rhymes.
on
Yeah.
Aftermath, too.
Yeah, I mean that's that one
And
though.
The Game, of course.
Yeah, Game, who I think has one of the best albums of the last 25 years.
Yeah, I
but
think
like,
so.
and had more success afterwards. But like, Busta Rhymes, I don't really count. Like, he made one album in like the.
How'd the Big Bang do?
That Break Your Neck song was. I just.
I mean,
watched that video.
I love the project. Don't
Went
get me
platinum.
I like.
But
I
I
got to
don't
work
remember.
on
I don't remember how like
It's
commercially.
fine. I mean,
viable
Touch It
it
was on there.
Yeah, Touch was on it.
Touch It with the remix that was on there.
Yeah.
Won't Break Your Neck on it?
No. Break
Oh.
Your Neck was on it.
Maybe he did Break Your Neck, and then that's what led to
Dr.
them.
Dre
doing-
did.
He produced Break Your
Yeah,
Neck.
no, I don't think that was on the
That wasn't on it.
because the singles on that album were the Touch It, the Will I Am song with Khalees.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
Is that my bitch?
what was it, James Brown? The In the Ghetto. What was
Right.
that? Yeah,
In the
so
Ghetto was up.
those were the singles. So yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
I like that
but
Cocaine song.
I mean, it was cool, but I mean, like
cool.
when you talk about the greatness of Aftermath,
Yeah.
I'm a huge Busta Rhymes fan. I don't think of Busta Rhymes as like I think of like he came and did an album. Like I mean, like I'm talking about the careers of Eminem, 50 Cent, and Kendrick Lamar is like Eminem and Kendrick Lamar are both in the argument for the greatest, and like depending on who you talk to, and then 50 Cent arguably had the greatest impact on his arrival in the history of hip hop music.
Yeah.
So like, and that's all in
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? So like,
But they have them at 6. You think they should be higher?
yeah, I think so. I would think I would.
Yeah,
have
I would put
have
Aftermath
them
and
So
Loud.
you'd have
in
them.
top 5.
You'd have them over Roc-A-Fella.
Yes,
Yeah, me too.
Loud as well. So then so it's like yes.
So you think? So you're moving down Bad Boy? You think Bad Boy's still top 5?
I would move Bad Boy down for them too.
You would?
It's right there. I think. I think Death
Biggie,
Row.
112,
Mace.
Faith,
I mean,
and Mace.
Biggie, Mace.
Mace was. I mean,
You got Mace. I mean, look. I mean, Mace is up there.
I love Mace.
Is it fair to say Mace is up there with 50 Cent? Before 50 Cent,
No.
Mace and DMX had like the biggest arrivals.
no. Mace is amazing.
Mace is
But
amazing.
50 Cent was like I'm a humongous Mace fan.
Yeah, it was
like,
bigger.
but 50 Cent was like the world was changing. You had
You're
like
right.
a guy who got shot 9 times, basically was brought back by the super producer and the hottest rapper in the world, and made this album that did, like, I mean, he did like what did he do? Like he did like 2 million records in the first 9 days
shit
or
was
something
crazy.
stupid. Like I think he only did officially like 900,000 first week because we had to put it out on. Because it leaked, so we only got like 36 hours of reporting. We had no choice. So like, I mean, it was such a.
The world stopped.
The world stopped.
Good point.
Like it was literally it did, and like I mean like 50 Cent literally held off his second album to put out his G Unit compilation, and then put out his 3 artists off his, and they all went like Mace didn't do anything like that. Like 50 Cent was a difference.
Who do you have for your top 5? So your top 5 is what? It's Def Jam.
Death Row. I don't know about specific order, but Def Jam, Death Row, Loud. I mean, you gotta have Cash Money. And then who does that leave? That leaves
Aftermath.
Bad Boy and Aftermath. Surprise.
Well, Aftermath. Yeah.
Aftermath.
Okay.
Same.
Same.
Yeah, I would have Bad Boy at 6.
Bad Boy's right there, but I mean it's right there.
Yeah,
but
But I would have my number. I would switch it around. I would probably have.
yeah, I don't know if I was exactly that order. I was just thinking. He said the top.
I
five.
probably would put. This is gonna sound crazy to people, but I probably would put Cash Money ahead of I would put Cash Money number 2. It's ahead of Death Row. I put Death Row 3. And I would put Def Jam 1, and then I would put Loud 4 and Aftermath 5. That would be me. But I would definitely Cash Money is crazy.
Yeah, Cash Money is ridiculous.
I mean,
I agree. We're putting it in the top 5 of all time.
No, but I'm number 2
Ridiculous.
though, because you got to understand, BG, Juvie, Wayne. This before they were huge on their own.
Yeah, right before Wayne. Before Wayne even
Baby
shows up.
and Manny before all that other shit. They were
then the
fucking
second
colossal.
wave,
Then they
Drake,
came with a
Nicki, and-
second wave with
Of Young
Drake,
Money. Of Young Money, yeah.
Young Drake,
Why
Wayne.
isn't Young Money there?
Yeah,
It's under Cash Money. Oh yeah, why didn't they do it separately?
they
Why
should
did Young
have been
Money get their
separate.
own?
Yeah, right. I mean,
You tell me-
they did it with everybody else. We got
That's what I'm
Shady.
saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying Young Money.
Young Money
does-
should have been
Young
separate.
Money has Drake, Nicki Minaj, like, and they don't get their
Tyga.
own. Like,
That's
they
a
don't
big
get their
miss.
own. Like, Young Money is a miss.
Billboard. You were
Young
doing
Money
good.
is a miss.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
how
doing
do- how
good.
do-
Young Money should be
Because
on
I'm
there.
like, if you don't count, like, if we count, like, everybody else, like, how does Young Money?
Well, you know what? Little note: Blueface was signed to Cash Money Records. Jacquees is on Cash Money. I'm just saying because it's still going. You know, it's still. That's why I say like that shit Birdman got going on. Contracts and stuff. It's probably not the best at getting your royalties, but as far as like identifying talent and like taking it to the next level,
No, just what they were able to build.
he is fantastic.
And multiple runs.
And I think because the publicity about the people not getting the money from him has tarnished his legacy and the way people see it. But what they have done is unprecedented. The fact that he's still like he's on the bus following around NBA YoungBoy, who's presently out of this deal. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of partnership that happens.
No, I mean,
In that
what
situation.
Cash Money was able to basically had like 2 lives. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
A massive. I mean, it's basically like what.
It's
like
your
it's
argument with
Dre and
Dr. Dre.
Aftermath and won.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because he did it and then came back. Like,
Say that.
Like-
Say that what you said because that's important.
what do you mean?
That Dr. Dre thing you said
About-
of why you say he's the greatest.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think Dr. Dre, because of like what he was able to do with, you know, what a lot of people think was a lull in his career in the, like, you know, the album he made, what was it? I can't even remember what the album was
Aftermath
called.
Present.
The Aftermath Presents or whatever, like with, you know, the song Been There, Done That and all that stuff. Like there was a couple of years where it was like, I don't know. And then like the Death Row thing happened, all that stuff happened. And then to come back better than ever with Eminem and 2001 and 50 Cent and Game and just keep going. And then Kendrick 10 years later, like
Yeah.
just the fact to be able to do that, like I feel, and also be the producer at the same time. The other labels we're talking about were the label, like didn't also make all the music. Like, I mean, that whole thing. And he was an artist on both sides of it.
How involved was Dre and Kendrick? Would you make it comparable to Snoop and M and 50 and Game?
I can't say for Snoop because I was 14. I wasn't there. Like at the beginning, like so I got to like I was a high school kid as a fan in Staten Island when all that happened. So I don't like I was a guy who was Jimmy was like mailing CDs and T-shirts to the house.
Yeah.
So I don't really have much knowledge on that. I think Stack could probably speak better to like that answer of that question. I was around for all of it. I mean, I know like Eminem and 50 Cent. Like I was in the studio every day when all that stuff was happening. So
See,
it was like
this is the thing you have to understand. This is why Dr. Dre is incredible, because Kendrick actually came in there with an infrastructure already.
Yep.
They were already moving.
Yep.
And what Dre did, which was smart, he allowed Top Dog to be Top Dog.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Of course, they had some differences of how maybe the rollout was going to
Yep.
be initially. But Dre and Jimmy, to their credit, they let Top do what he wanted to do. And he also, Top was, how you want to say it? He understood the situation and stayed firm on what he wanted to do.
We had great meetings. Top and I walking into Jimmy's office, like all that stuff. Like,
Because I know for a fact that album, you know, because Dre is really a perfectionist, and as great as Good Kid, Mad City is, it wouldn't have came out as fast as it came out unless Top put his foot down. I know that happened for a fact.
Top Dog had meetings. I had meetings. We all had meetings behind the
Yeah,
door.
Top
It
was
worked
like-
out. It worked out because
Yeah.
a lot of timing and stuff. I think with Kendrick also.
Essentially,
Where
Todd
everybody-
was like, this shit coming out.
and where everybody was at in their careers.
And-
Like Beats was happening, so there was a lot of things happening. So like I think if it was 10 years ago, just with how perfectionist everybody is, especially Dr. Dre, and that's why he's the greatest of all time.
I want to get my top 5 labels out real
Sorry
fast.
about that, Justin.
Number 1, I agree with Def Jam being number 1. Number 2, I'm going Loud. I'm putting Loud at number 2, and I just like if you look at the range,
Yeah.
that Loud like that
Yeah.
Rifkin's a legend.
Rifkin.
Shout out to Steve, man. We're going to have him on here.
You got Wu-Tang, you got Pun, you got Mobb Deep, Raekwon Prodigy, you got Beatnuts, Exhibit, you got Dead Prez,
3-6 Mafia.
3-6 Mafia, Project Pat,
David
Alcoholics.
Banner, Akon.
I mean,
Well, the Akon was SRC, so if you count that,
right,
it's allowed.
right.
Oh, yeah, well, you're
It's
right.
SRC,
You're right.
but
And
I
David
mean,
Banner was
It's still
SRC.
Steve.
It's still
I don't know,
Steve.
I was like, Steve.
I count all that.
Rifkin is a
It's
label?
Steve Rifkin is a label. My boy Steve.
I'm like,
Steve
can't
gonna be
argue
on here.
that.
And it's no knock. It's just the range.
Yep.
It's the range for me when it comes to that. Right after that, I got Death Row. I got Cash Money. Was that 4?
Yep.
Yeah, and then
That's your 5.
and I gotta go Aftermath at number 5.
Ooh, so we all agree.
Aftermath, yeah.
It's the top 5.
Just, it's just, well, that's
I gotta go Aftermath.
This order.
Yeah, I mean, and it feels crazy to not have Bad Boy.
yeah.
Like it doesn't
The
feel
moment-
right.
It doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right at all.
You put Death Row in front of Cash Money.
Do I put Death Row in front of? I'll put Death Row in front
Okay.
of Cash Money.
Yeah, I can respect
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I put Death Row in Cash
I
Money.
mean, Tupac.
I mean, it's Snoop Dogg,
Snoop Dogg.
my man, doing the Olympics.
Hey, I don't know. Hey, yo, that's one thing that I get insulted about to me.
And the Chronic.
When,
Yeah.
When we talk about the biggest
not
West Coast artists,
Right.
I mean, the dude is still walking around like it's Snoop Dogg.
It's Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg arguably is the biggest rapper in rap history.
Whatever you wanna know, whoever you wanna see, the place you all need to be,
Third verse.
the place you can't leave, the seed that plants seeds, the place you allowed to talk free. Whatever you wanna know, whoever you wanna see, the place you all need to be,
Third verse.
the place you can't leave, the seed that plants seeds, the place you allowed to talk free.